like the new intro?
I mean, we can go straight into like if we're gonna guitar. Like, what's the TikTok dance where they do the?
Oh, don't ask
I
me.
ain't never been with a Betty.
Oh, Trent has no idea.
She's calm, so I add her to the.
That's
telly.
actually a segment that we're going to throw into the PMC cast at some point.
How much Trent doesn't.
Well,
know
it's kind of
about.
like
Yeah, because I'm not into pop culture like at all.
It's
so
like
they'll make
Paxton's
fun of
pop culture corner, and he's gonna be like, Trent, did you know about this, this, and this? He's like, I've never heard any of those things before. So
I was watching one yesterday, and Danielle hit me and was like, "Hey, can you get all these?" And it's like, "How much TikTok did you watch this year?" And it goes through like a minute's worth of just random little songs or whatever.
right, dances, the trends,
And I'm
all that
like,
sort of
every
stuff.
one of the dances, I'm like, oh that, and she's like,
Yeah.
you know all these dances.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah.
Can you physically do the
Kinda.
dances?
Not, I mean, like not all of them, but like I know the main
recognize
part.
them. Yeah. Know what the people are supposed
Like
to
I
do.
know there's a
Yeah.
guitar in that one, and I know that like in that other one there's like,
Yeah.
Right.
you know what I mean? Like I got the key pieces of everything.
enough to
so,
recognize them.
Yeah.
Tay's the same way. Tay does the lip dub stuff.
Yeah, and she's not bad at it.
She's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
It cracks me up.
Like mouthing the words. To
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
really
she's
good
actually
at
not
it.
bad at it.
Big fan of that.
Cracks me
Doing-
If you hadn't figured out yet, this is the PMC Podcast, and we are joined in Studio B Plus by friend of the show, avid follower and listener, one, Evan Drake.
Avid follower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk to people at home.
Nice. Hi, people at home.
You can look at them in the camera, too. It's okay.
Oh, do we look at the camera?
Yeah, you can
Hello,
look at the camera.
Depends on what camera you got.
Yeah, but I say, there's a bunch of cameras, so make sure you look at your
I was
camera.
always taught not to break the fourth wall. You
Oh, no.
never look at the camera.
No, we're breaking it. When it's something important, you look at the camera, you're like, hey, I have to tell you something. Pay attention to me right here.
So it's just like The Office. I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, 100%
Yeah,
like
give
that.
it a gym look. I'm going to start doing that. Like,
Of course, we are joined by Mr. CEO, Mr. Big Brain himself, Trent Pollard.
easy on the big brain. Easy.
And behind the scenes without a camera, but
How you doing, people? Sorry.
but with a mic, right? With a mic, we are
Is your mic
joined by
on?
Paxton
Hello.
Higgs.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's me.
All right.
I'm running the
Here's
show
how I know
back here.
Paxton's not on camera because he keeps smirking. He's like,
Am I?
you just have a weird smirk on your face. I'm like, man, the viewers are gonna think that's funny.
You should chug that
Paxton,
monster.
set operator, set director. What are you calling
Yeah,
yourself?
what'd you label yourself?
Set coordinator.
Set coordinator. So Paxton's running the switching. He's making sure the camera bounces around and it sees all the different people when we're talking.
Yeah.
So it's all pretty.
I'll take
on
your
the back
complaints
end.
in the comments.
Yeah, there you go. So
Are we
he,
almost live? Is that what we're doing still?
We are
Yeah.
almost
Almost
live.
live.
Yeah, you're listening and watching almost live. So we have friend of the show, Evan Drake, on for the PMC podcast.
Friend is a
because-
strong word.
Friend is a strong word.
Mm-hmm.
Comrade? Is that better?
Whoa.
Comrade? No, worse. Oh, that
That's
one was
worse.
worse. That one
I
was
feel
worse.
like I'm friends with all of you guys,
Yeah.
but not friends with the show. 'Cause
I'm
that's
messing
hard to
around.
be friends with.
Friend
the show.
of the show. Friend of.
Friend of
Friend
the show.
of the
Okay.
show.
Friend with the show.
Friend with the show. And he is here because Trent wanted to have Evan on. Trent, do you want to explain a little bit to the people at home?
Yeah, so Evan has some sketchy stuff in his past that I went, no, I'm just kidding. No, he started.
Don't we all?
I'm
Don't we all?
curious about NXTGEN Hoops. Like, as close as we are as friends, I actually don't know, like, the origin story or, like, what you guys do at, like, a detailed level, what you're doing with the kids.
I don't know who you guys is. It's just me.
Is it? See, that's what I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's just-
You have a facade that there's, like, a team of 4 or 5 of y'all.
Well,
So you do a good job
this is
marketing.
actually what I've told you about, like, anytime Trent talks about the Hawks. He's like, I'm like, oh, hey, I got to go this weekend and I got to do these things or whatever. And he's like, oh, are they going to pay you? I'm like, they is
Yeah.
me.
They is
Like,
us.
I'm
Like, we
the,
are
yeah,
they.
like I'm
Yeah, it's
the.
us.
And I
Wes and I own 66% of the Hawks.
right. And but Trent does the same
So
thing
who's
with
the
PMC.
third partner?
So there's a guy named Jason Barnes that owns 34% of the Hawks.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
3 of us that own it basically all together.
So what's his role?
He handles all the
The money.
logistics, the money, the financial side, the schedules, all the stuff that Wes and I don't want to do.
Okay. And you guys are, like, field work,
Field
recruiting.
I mean, I guess that's a way to classify it.
Yeah.
I think we broke it down. It's social media manager, marketing manager,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, marketing.
I'm CEO and Jason is CFO.
Okay.
Is the way
That makes
we
sense.
broke it down.
Cool. And how many teams do you have? That's what I've been curious about, too.
Oh, God.
Because that confuses the hell out of me.
So I do want to, while Evan can do some math over here, this is going to be an avid part of the PMC podcast where we are bringing on people, a bit of an interview stylish type setting where we can kind of get to know them. They can kind of talk about what they do. So Evan is the first in the line of many that we're going to have on the show to kind of talk about what it is that they do, what they're passionate about, have them on the show and give them a voice and a platform to be able to express those things. So,
16 teams.
You have 16 teams?
Yeah, 16 teams.
It's about 15 too many, but yeah, we got 16 teams.
So hang on.
We added 3 girls teams this year.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, can I interject? Do you feel like Joe Rogan right now?
No. Well, kind of. We got Jamie over here off camera.
I just know.
You guys need me to look anything up?
Paxton, pull that shit up.
I just know that Joe's
guy
like
here?
your idol. So I don't know if you feel like him.
Idol.
You like Joe Rogan?
Love Joe Rogan.
He's all about
I
Joe
love
Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
This is why we have podcasts, because you want to be Joe Rogan.
No.
Yes, a little bit.
It's a little bit of that, isn't it?
A little
It's
bit.
a little bit that.
It's
Well, everyone has a podcast.
Yeah, but not like this.
everyone.
Yeah, this is different. We've got some money into it.
It's a little different. Sorry, I interjected. Go ahead.
Large difference between like holding your
Yeah, a lot of people.
iPhone together for a podcast and like
Yeah, I wish we could zoom
I
out.
watched
right?
you build this.
I
watched you build this table, and I mean, a quarter of your office is this table
Yeah.
and all the stuff that.
Right.
And I don't even want to know how much these cameras and things cost.
Oh, it's
You
a
don't.
lot.
yeah.
Oh, hold up.
There's a lot of money.
This will be
sitting right
fun.
here,
Hang
yeah.
on.
Okay, how much are these cameras?
So that rig with the lens is about $5,000.
The one I'm looking at.
Yes,
my
the
camera.
one on you. The nicest one is on you.
Oh, cool.
This one that's on me is probably
Tripod included in that?
$3,000. No,
How much is a tripod?
about
Oh, like
$200.
$200.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
This is where I have no idea, because I'm like, let's try about like $20. Just times that by 10.
So say what? I say
$5,000.
5. That's 3. So we got $8,000. Another
That's about
2 or 3.
That's 3 at least.
So 11 grand.
So
sitting at this table.
That's just
grand.
in cameras.
These
like, that doesn't
mics-
include
How much for all the
this
mics?
stuff.
These mics are about $300 a piece.
So nah.
So
it's about
$1,200
$1,200.
$1,200 for the mics. These are about $120 a piece. These arms.
So 360.
How much was the desk?
480.
This is the Resolute desk,
This
remember?
is the
Yeah, this is
Resolute
the
desk.
Resolute desk.
The-
This mixer is $600, I think.
That's a lot of money to put into stuff that's not generating money back to you.
It's
Well, the
going
plan
to.
is.
It's
It's
going.
going
Eventually,
to.
it's the long
Eventually.
con. You guys
Yeah.
are in the long con. I know.
And then that black mixing board Paxton's using to switch is
How about the foam on the wall back there?
$600. That low key is for looks, but it's supposed to
It
help.
looks cool.
But I only put it in the only place it could give us problem with sound bouncing in
Bouncing
that
off the
corner.
corner,
So
right.
that's it. If it is helping a little, it's at least in the
And then
optimal.
We're
location.
looking at a good $15,000 sitting at this
Lighting
table.
setup?
Like,
Oh, the
very
lighting.
easy.
this.
Say, how much
this,
is this light?
This is called a C-stand.
I've heard that.
And it is, oh man, probably $200, $250, and then this constant light,
Like 300.
100D is like $300, and then this thing is probably like
All right.
$100.
So here's
Like
the real
we're
question.
between
15
15
to
to 20
20
grand
grand.
sitting
But
at this table.
So here's the real question, though. Are these 3 cameras used for your real estate?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not really 15 grand sitting here
Right.
to podcast. It's
Yeah.
you use these to do the business,
Right.
and they can double.
Yeah.
Correct.
So everything except for the cameras is just it's permanently here.
Is for this.
Now,
Yeah, it never
eventually, we'd love
moves.
to get static cameras.
So where the setup doesn't take an hour and a half.
Yeah, that'd be nice so we can cut down on the prep
Dude.
time.
Yeah, but that would also be 11 grand.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
But-
we're going to wait on that for a little
Yeah.
while.
I mean, we get it going. We can.
Yeah, try and start bringing in some money with this first.
You
Yeah.
should call the owner of D1 Properties. Maybe they'd like to be a sponsor. It's here in Catoosa.
D1 properties.
D1 Properties.
Gym they rent out for training,
it's the-
basketball stuff.
Oh.
Former or current, I don't know. I think it's the former athletic director of Lincoln Christian. And he basically built like a 1/4 court. It's got like a 3-point line, like just to the NBA 3, in a barn next to his house for his kids to shoot on or
Mhm.
whatever. And then he put like a little volleyball net in there, and then he started renting it out. And then when COVID hit, you couldn't get into gyms, so he built another full court gym, started renting it out, and now he has, I believe, 3 full court gyms in his backyard, plus a 1/4 court.
Here's the thing, dude. There's a lot of money in that kind of stuff. You know where there's even more
Yeah,
money
there
in
is.
people that do that stuff for like hitting cages, like
Mhm.
batting facilities
Mhm.
and pitching facilities. Dude,
The key is
so
that you
much
have
money.
the most expensive thing is the building.
Yeah.
Like to put up the walls and the
Yeah.
ceiling. So if you're gonna do it, you should do it where it's like put up a massive building, put 3 courts in it, put some baseball on the side, and you're just no wasted space, trying to create revenue at every square foot.
Keep it booked out, like 30-minute segments or something.
Yeah, you guys should drive out to D1 properties. You just feel like you're driving out to nowhere, and then all of a sudden you drive down a little gravel road, and there's 3 gyms.
Really?
It's pretty cool.
Huh. Yeah,
That's
there's money to be made in this for sure.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Like, there's another trainer, like, so I do NXTGEN Hoops, and then there's another trainer, and he uses that place all the time. Like, he rents it out and then trains kids.
We won't give him the free pub on the show.
Hang on.
No free clout.
Hang on. So, NXTGEN started with you training, right?
So,
is that how it started?
So, originally, I was just training kids. Like, I got to BA. So, originally, I was at Metro Christian, and a guy I worked with there, Alex Stanley, was training kids. And so, like, we were just like, all of our kids were like, you need to train with him. That's what he does. Like, that's all he did. He did that, and he coached. He wasn't a teacher or anything. And so,
on
like,
the side, you're
on
training.
the side. Yeah. Well, that was his job. Like, that's how he lived, was training. And then when I got to BA, I had 2 BA kids that were working out with him that just didn't want to drive all the way there every time. They're like, hey, can I start working out with you? And I was like, I mean, I've never really, but I mean, sure, I'll start working on it. So I started really just like diving into it, like the player development stuff, just hardcore, like learning as much as I could. Because I mean, I was a good basketball player, but I've learned so much in the last 5 years from just development, how your brain works, how kids' brains work, so much stuff. Sorry. Is it too far away?
Bro, he's fine. Stop micromanaging.
Sorry. Sorry.
So, and then, yeah, so I got to BA and I started doing it, just training on the side, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there.
How much did you charge back then to train just a kid for like an hour?
Bro, don't ask him that. God.
Just curious.
Isn't that what we're here for? Aren't you here to ask those questions?
I'm screwing around.
Just curious.
The first kid I started training at BA was a kid named Jared Barnes. And his dad was like, how much do you want? And at that point I was like, I have no idea.
How much can I get?
What's the normal amount? And it was just him by himself. And so I was like, I don't know. And they're like, well, can I pay you what we used to pay Alex? And I was like, sure. How much is that? And he was like,
much did you
we pay him $35 a session. And so I was like, $35 for 1 hour? That sounds awesome. Yes, I'm in. So I started training him. And then 1 turned into 2, and 2 turned into 3, and 3 turned into 4.
And then you did several kids in one session together.
And then I started doing, like, as I got further and further
Started training kids.
Yes, training kids. Not doing kids.
Just want to make sure we clarify for all the listeners at home.
Skill developing kids that wanted to further their skills in basketball.
Okay.
Yes. So I started skill developing more kids in a group setting. And the more like research I started doing into the skill development stuff, group settings are better in my mind for a multitude of reasons. One, you've got guys you're competing with all the time, so you're not half-ass going through stuff. Like you're getting pushed by someone next to you. You can do a lot more skill, like decision-making stuff with other people, like if it's not just you and me. So I started, pushing, hey, at 2 to 4 people, 4 to 6, somewhere in there.
And you're making a little more money, so that's good too.
Also a little more efficient on the money. I don't care as much about that. Like I'd rather do 2 sessions with a smaller number because I think they get more out of it, but you need numbers to compete with each other. And so that's what I started doing.
That's true. Anybody can go alone and be like, man, I can light up the 3-point line. It's like put someone in front of you.
Right.
Correct. And so you just start, but like you just said, like I can shoot alone in a gym. It's like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
No, I need a hand. And I need like, not like, oh, my trainer's running at me. And like, he's not really going to block it. No, I put a kid on a block and you kick it out and it's like, go try to block that kid.
Yeah.
So you're trying to, just do those kinds of things. But so
interesting. So it starts with, I'm going to just side hustle doing training, making $35 or so. Then more kids started to want to do it. At what point did you think I should start to market this? And like make it public and make a logo and like go all in on it.
Same kind of idea, started seeing guys in the Oklahoma City area, the Dallas area, LA. Like once I started diving into it, like all of a sudden I was like, holy cow, there's a lot of these dudes out there that are doing this.
Well, I recognized like Trey Slate. I played against him in high school, and he's in Oklahoma City doing it right. I don't know what his company's called or whatever, but I see his marketing for it, and I remember maybe me and you talked about it, but you said that's kind of the vein you were like looking to kind of start getting into.
Yeah, so I talked to Trey a lot about it. At that point, I went to Dallas one week and just worked out and helped, basically rebounded and passed for Buddy Hield. So he was training Buddy, and I was just basically just stealing drills and making notes on my phone and like filming. Like I was like, hey, do you mind if I set my camera up? Like I was just trying to get better.
Yeah.
I started working a lot of camps, like when skills trainers would come. Irv Rowland is a really good one. He was James Harden's trainer in Houston when he was there. And
who's James Harden?
I can't deal with that. He's now on the Utah Jazz staff.
Really?
Yeah. So he was with the Rockets, and then he wasn't with the Rockets.
With Utah?
Yeah, he's now with Utah. They signed him for player development.
Wow.
But like he came to Tulsa, and so like I worked a camp, and then another guy named Tim Martin, who was probably my favorite trainer. He trained Dwayne Wade, which, as you guys all know, is my favorite player.
Who's Dwayne Wade?
Again, not dealing with you. And so like just
I don't have a camera, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, no one cares. And so like Tim Martin, he came to Tulsa to do like a little camp at Jinx High School, and so I saw that, and I just Twitter DM'd him, was like, hey man, I'm a skills trainer in the area, would love to come work your camp. Like I just want to learn and get better. And so like just got to know him a little bit, talked about it. So when I was in Dallas helping Trey, I hit him up and was like, hey, because he's based out of Dallas. Like, hey, do you need any help with anything? I'd love to come, give you some hands. And he was like, yeah, come through. Ended up getting to help work out Nick Claxton, who plays for the Nets.
Yeah, I was about to say, who's Nick Claxton? That's not a joke. I don't know who that is.
He's not as well known. He went to Georgia. He's 6'11", 7'1".
Yeah, 7 foot, huge.
Yeah, he's freaky.
Wow. He also weighs like 130 pounds. Like
that day, Tim was working out Brady Manick, who played at OU and is now at North Carolina.
I remember him.
Nick Claxton, who's now on the Nets. Like he was going to be a high-level draft pick. Reggie Chaney, who's actually from Tulsa, played at Arkansas, is now at Houston. And Kellen Manick, who's Brady's brother, who is now his senior year at Southeastern in Durant, Oklahoma, but originally started his college career at ORU. So like that was the group of 4 of them working out together. It was pretty cool. Like, and I was just, like I said, I was just wanted to be a fly on the wall with some dudes that I thought were really good.
You have to appreciate people that are like cool with that.
Absolutely.
Like they're actually like help you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I think I hit up 6 different guys in Dallas. Like while I was there, I was like, hey, you guys got anything? I just want to learn. And Tim was like, absolutely, come through. I'd love to have you. I was like,
I love when people are like that.
Yeah.
Like they don't see it as like threatening. They just see it as like,
yeah.
Oh, everyone's getting better. There's enough players in the world that it's not going to matter.
Oh,
like,
and that dude is training like D Wade would fly him out to train with him. Like,
wow.
Bro, that's the dream, right?
He went to China with D Wade during one of Wade's Yingling, because he's a Yingling guy. That's not how you say that.
Yingling the beer?
Not
the beer?
Yingling the beer. It's his Ling.
Dwayne Wade, big beer drinker.
It's the
first
shoe,
reported
it's
here
the
on the
shoe
show.
company in China that Wade signed with. Clay Thompson's
Not
with him too.
Anta.
Yingling.
It's
Clay Thompson's with Anta.
Paxton, I guess, could
No,
look it
he's
up.
not.
Couldn't you?
Yeah.
Anta?
I can be important. Hang on.
Look up Clay Thompson's shoe brand. It's Ling Ying, I believe. It's LINGYNG.
How have I not heard of that?
Because it's not. It's like the Jordan of China. But like Wade went and did like a whole.
You don't live in China.
Yeah, he did. He went and did like a whole China tour where he was going around, but like he took Tim with him because he needed to keep getting in the gym. So he just worked him out every day on his trips. And
Anta. ANTA.
They must have changed the name. That's not what it was called.
Point West.
Did you say that?
I said that, yeah.
Really?
You did say that.
I thought Clay Thompson was Anta.
Look up. Then he just switched.
I've never heard of Anta either.
Well, Clay Thompson's a big like China guy.
Really?
China loves
Clay Thompson?
Oh,
China
why?
loves him some Clay.
Where is Clay from?
He's
from China. You didn't know that?
He's from wherever his NBA playing father birthed him or got him.
It was something about when the Warriors were winning their titles, they went on like tours afterwards in the offseason to like,
They
celebrate.
love Steph over there too.
And
Really?
for some
That's
reason
interesting.
on one of these like championship tours afterwards, the people of China just fell in love with Klay Thompson. It became like a fucking
That's
thing.
so strange.
Yeah. And then like he ended up like getting this marketing deal with some shoes or whatever. And then like he would like take trips, and like now it's a thing when like on social media and like the basketball community of like, oh, Clay's taking another trip to China, Clay.
So
I mean, like
strange.
it's like a thing.
It's weird because we don't really know because we're weirdly kind of closed off from
Yeah,
China.
100%.
Yeah, it's
What do you need me to
it's
look
leaning.
up, Evan?
Leaning. LI-NING.
LI-NING?
Yeah.
Li Ning.
Li Ning.
Li Ning.
Chinese sportswear and sports equipment company founded by former Olympic gymnast Li Ning.
There you go.
Makes sense.
So they signed Klay Thompson.
So they originally signed Wade, and like he was the first NBA guy that had those shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So like what's funny is like if you go check out Tim Martin, he only wears those shoes.
Makes sense.
Which also is, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Like, so like I've looked through them, and like I said, a big Wade fan, and they're called the Way of Wades. Like they're the only company that would offer him his own.
Right.
Because he started out with
Wow.
Converse, and then he went Jordan,
Right.
and then he signed on with this Chinese company.
You get a
but-
signature shoe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting. I wonder like what dynamics were in place for like randomly Klay Thompson and D Wade to like go super popular in China.
I wonder when
So
Klay
random.
switched, because I remember Klay signing a deal with them, and like him and Wade did a tour in China together, and I was like, oh, cool, Klay's getting on board. This is great. I like Klay.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
He's back now, isn't he?
Klay's
Klay?
back.
he's
Yeah, he
back.
just started playing.
His dunk, the first game came back, I was like, he's back.
Yeah, he hadn't played in like 2 years.
Yeah.
That's so interesting though about China. You know what else is interesting is how was it?
You had me primed for a West segue there.
It really started.
I
to
did
sound
feel like
that.
you were like, you know what else?
You know what else
sounds
is
nice?
interesting?
Cracker
Hammond's
Barrel.
Trivia.
No,
Cracker Barrel is a
Hammond's
nice
trivia.
place to sit down with the family and have
The,
a meal.
North
Sponsored,
Korea's
brought to you by
fascination with
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. It's so
Yeah.
strange and just
Yeah.
random.
So weird.
He's like a diplomat for them.
It's so weird.
So weird.
Anyway, so
I didn't think we would talk about Dennis Rodman here tonight. But all right. Shout out Dennis.
shout
We
out to
gotcha.
Dennis. So hang on, going back.
All right.
You start side hustling, just training some kids, and then you see some potential. Like I could make some money. That like I should form an LLC or whatever and make a logo and brand it.
So basically,
Did that come after you kind of followed all of the other trainers and got a taste for it?
Yeah, so I started like, follow him. So Tim Martin is Tim Martin Basketball. Like he just used his name.
Okay.
There's a guy in Dallas also that I like. His name's Tyler Relf. And his
Whoa,
is,
no free pub on the show.
Sorry. I gave
Just
Tim
bleep
free.
it, Paxton.
Yeah, bleep it out.
Yeah, bleep it out. And so he's call his company is like Hoop Dynamics.
Okay.
And then everyone, and then there's a guy. There's lots of like Tulsa guys, and Trey's is what's Trey's?
Relentless.
Relentless. That was his big thing. So
Mhm.
it's relentless training.
Trey, not a friend, not a friend of the show.
Not a friend of the
Not a
show,
friend of the
Trey
show.
Slate. Maybe he will be after this.
Mm.
I'll send it
Maybe.
to him. I'll text it to him. Be like, hey, we mentioned you in this. You could listen to it. Who knows? But basically, what I figured out is if you didn't want it to just be your name, and I thought that was really narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm not doing Evan Drake basketball.
Go ahead,
Like,
yeah.
Trent. What's the name of this company?
I
He
didn't
named
even
it
see that
after
coming.
himself.
I didn't even see it coming.
I didn't
wow.
either.
That's funny.
Man, that's not the way I meant that whatsoever.
That's why he got all
Very
quiet. He
sorry.
was like, "How do I say it without offending?"
That's funny.
Narcissist.
That literally didn't cross my mind.
But also, you changed it. I mean, not change it, but you brand a lot as PM.
Yeah. So
Well, the
yeah.
name of the podcast is literally PMC.
The PMC
Podcast.
Which is a
podcast.
slow like psycho manipulation over time is like what Wes is kind of tasked with for a long period of time is like slowly get the branding to change
From Pollard Media
to where one
PMC,
day,
yes.
yeah, people will only know PMC.
because you don't want it to be your name.
Yeah.
He realized he was being an asshole, like you said.
Yeah.
and he was trying to. He
Like,
was-
how arrogant do you
Yeah,
have to be?
so funny. You know what's weird though? The Pollard has like lost its meaning to me because I hear Pollard Media just so
Right.
much to me. Like that name has like lost its meaning. Like
It's
that
just like a word.
Yeah, it's weird. But anyway, yeah.
So you didn't want to be like Trent the asshole.
Right.
You picked an original name.
So basically, I was coaching at Broken Arrow at the time, and we had a group of sophomores that were really special. And we didn't have very many seniors, and we weren't very good, but like the sophomores were just getting chunked into the fire. And so like it was a big deal. Like, how do we keep them locked in? Because they're just getting their butts kicked. I mean, they're getting killed. I mean, we went from 25-3 to the next year. It's just these sophomores.
These 15, 16-year-old kids.
who none of them played anything but freshman basketball. Like none
So
of them,
guys with no experience.
they didn't play JV the year before. They didn't play sophomore ball. Like none of them sat on the varsity. Like
Jesus.
all of them are freshmen, And then the next year, 4 of them are varsity starters.
Oh my God.
So you went from playing your own peers as 14 and 15 or 15-year-olds to as 16-year-olds. Hey, welcome to the fire.
Yeah.
Play them juniors and seniors. And they took their lumps. Like, it is what it is.
So in an effort to
rally
them,
keep them like, hey guys, the goal is not this year. Like, the goal is the future. Like, you guys are the future. You guys are the next generation. And I just kept telling them, like, you guys are the next generation. You're the next generation. Like, you're the next generation of Broken Arrow basketball players. It just kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pushed it hard, and like I made a BA shirt, and I took out the E, and so it was just NXT.
Yeah, because it looks cooler.
I think it looks cooler.
Yeah.
So like I put NXTGEN. I was like, I'm just going to shorten it all. So I started just doing every BA tweet was #NextGen, 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 and just pushing it. And I got all the sophomores a long sleeve gray T-shirt that had a BA on it and just said #NextGen. And so like they were the next gen. And it just kind of stuck, and I really liked it. So I told my brother who makes logos, I was like, hey, I want to be NXTGEN Hoops. Can you give me some logos?
Mm-hmm.
And he sent me probably 10 to 15 different ones, and this is the one I liked the best.
Go ahead and show that off.
And so there we go, NXTGEN Hoops.
That's cool.
And so I just was like, that's the one. That's awesome. And then so I just made an Instagram. I think it was 2017, maybe 18. I don't remember. But so I, made an Instagram and threw the logo on some clothes and started wearing the clothes, and then people started, what's that? And so still don't really know what I'm doing with the Instagram. Like, I kind of just post like highlights of my guys, or like I don't post drills, and a lot of trainers will be like, here's a great drill, be good at this, here's this, do this. And I kind of just, if something cool happens, like I had a bunch of guys in town over Christmas break, and we played pickup, and I was like, you know what, let's take a picture. I trained all you guys.
Yeah.
Took a picture, post the picture. So I don't use the Instagram as much as I should probably. But like it's out there and like everybody knows.
Okay, so NextGen is still a thing.
NextGen still a thing.
Just
I honestly, to be honest, I thought it was just like you came up with it. I didn't know there was an actual origin story to the name NextGen.
Yeah, I didn't either. That's kind of cool.
So I think everyone that invents anything has an origin story for why it happened.
Sure, because nothing is just
aside from Trent, he just went with his name.
Yeah, I just wanted my name on billboards.
And then, like you said, like for tax purposes, like and if you want to get really technical, the company that owns NextGen is called Winning Starts Here
LLC.
So
it's a DBA.
Yeah, it's a big umbrella, right? And then you have the Tulsa Hawks underneath it. You have NextGen underneath it. So they're little pieces, and so I did it for taxing purposes and that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah. So now there's a difference.
Jason runs all that as well. He runs the Hawk stuff, and he also runs.
Oh, really?
Which is the father of the kid that the first kid that he trained.
Yes. So Jared Barnes is the first kid I started training like for money. Like, I mean, I trained. So like the OGs are like Caden Hale and Landon Strike and Logan Dolan and Jared Barnes would be like the 4 OGs of NextGen Hoops.
That's kind of cool.
Before it was NextGen Hoops. So.
Okay. So at what point did you decide? Because now there's a huge difference between NextGen and the Tulsa Hawks organization,
Correct.
right? Well, legally, no, but it's
they don't really have any relation really
They have
at all.
no relation.
Yeah.
The only
Other
relation
than
is
they're-
that I run both of them.
Yeah.
Other than they're both under the same LLC.
Hey, you told me to stop you? Choppy.
Really?
Yeah, his.
Me right now?
Yeah. A little bit.
Man.
It's the chapstick.
It's a chaps.
Carmex.
Maybe
yeah.
just give it a minute.
Maybe
Are we going to have to cut and start over?
that's what I'm thinking. Maybe we stop recording.
See if you can fix it and then pick it back up.
You want me to stop?
Yeah, stop recording. And we're back. We had some technical difficulties. Sorry.
Here on the show.
So I can't even remember what I last said, but you said you had those original 4 guys.
Yeah. The OGs,
Yeah.
as the children say.
Paxton mentioned.
Well, you
that
were
it's-
asking about the correlation of the Hawks.
Oh yeah, there's a difference now between
There always was.
NextGen and Tulsa Hawks.
They've never been the same.
So the Tulsa Hawks. Did
Is
you
it-
start?
So
it?
this is actually interesting if I can interject, because like I told you earlier, he does this sometimes where like he, says like, oh, well, did they do this? Or it's like, I'm they or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very curious now. I feel like you have a better understanding now just because we worked together for 4 months and like I've talked about it or whatever. So I think you have a better working knowledge of what it is really. I'm curious as to what you think like that is, and then we can kind of talk you through it. So clearly you thought before saying anything that NextGen and Tulsa Hawks were the same thing or what?
No, so I knew they were different, but like I knew that was his training deal, and then the Tulsa Hawks was an organization that had basketball teams, like youth basketball that played in the summer. I thought you had like 2 or 3 teams, 2 or 3 coaches that coached them.
We did.
So you have 16 teams?
There are now 16 teams in the Tulsa Hawks.
16 coaches?
Wait,
16 coaches.
Holy shit.
More coaches.
Am I grainy again?
No, you're good.
Oh.
16. So 16 coaches.
You said holy shit to how many there are.
Yeah, I didn't
Okay,
know there
yeah.
were that
Oh,
many.
yeah, 16.
16 coaches, and you coach one of the teams?
I coach one.
Wes, you no longer coach one.
I
You
did.
used to,
I do not anymore.
and then
correct.
you just went into like
now
the
I'm
marketing
doing
role.
marketing the same as I do for PMC.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So which, Jesus, are they just all different ages?
I'll break it down for you, okay?
Yeah.
We have 1 5th. All right, I'll go with the boys first, and then we'll go to the girls. 1 5th grade, 1 6th grade, 2 7th grades, 2 8th grades, 2 9th grades, 2 10th grades, 3 11th grades, which is 17U, and you do it by
The
U's.
oldest, yeah.
So the oldest is 17U, which is juniors to be seniors. Their last summer of travel ball. And then you go back. So 17U, 16U, 15U, 14U. And then we have a 7th grade girls, 8th grade girls, 9th grade girls.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And all these coaches are just on their free time.
Mhm.
They're just donating their time.
No, they get
We
paid.
pay them. Yeah, we pay them.
Paid.
They get paid every weekend. They go coach.
Okay.
It's not much. Like,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So here's my question: how do you the money situation? Where does the money come from?
Kids pay dues, so they pay a certain amount for the summer, and that covers all of their tournament fees, coaches' fees, gym rentals, because we got to rent a gym to practice, and then we pay every coach gets a
Hotel room
for the weekend. They get a little
Okay.
stipend. It's like I said, it's like $100 a week, and
Yeah.
it's not much.
Okay.
None of these people are doing this to make money.
No.
Yeah, and this is a not-for-profit organization.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
one of
501c3.
501c3. Okay. So the money comes from players paying dues or their parents paying dues.
Right.
Is there have you entertained the idea of trying to find out ways to get outside donations?
Yes,
So
tried.
so
hard.
so where have you failed in that regard?
All over the place.
What are what are
Last
some
year-
things you've tried?
Last year we weren't sponsored, but Folds of Honor donated some money, like a certain amount,
Yeah.
and we put their logo on the jerseys.
Okay, that's cool.
So,
So because I imagine the end goal or the dream would be like you have a big giant sponsor and the kids don't pay dues.
The dream is that a shoe brand is the sponsor. So like right now we're on the Under Armour Rise circuit.
And
Mhm.
we are sort of sponsored.
We're not sponsored. We're powered by Under Armour.
Powered. Yes.
Is the word they use. So basically that means they don't give you any money.
Come on, Under Armour. It's horse shit.
They don't give you any money, but you get to use their platform and go to their tournaments, which are higher level tournaments, which
Okay.
therefore means there's more coaching for college coaches coming to look at the kids.
Which means more
More
talented
kids-
kids might want to come
More
play for
talented
you
kids might want to come play for
because
you.
you're going to the Under Armour
Yeah.
games.
You get
Correct.
to be
Okay.
seen by the Under Armour stuff.
So they're providing some value.
Sure.
Wouldn't kill them to throw you some fucking money.
Well, it's an invite only type deal.
Mhm.
It's
Okay.
Yeah,
we're,
like you
we're
can't
allowing
just-
you to come to our tournament.
Like they reach out to us and we're like, hey, we want to make you an Under Armour Rise program.
Okay.
Like there are other teams that we have played against that be like, hey, we want to go to Under Armour stuff and say, no, we don't want you to be at our stuff.
Correct.
So
Like Under
that's
Armour
that's
reached out
the
to
difference.
us.
We're not sponsored, but we are sort of sponsored in the way that they're allowing us to come to our stuff
Yeah.
by invitation only, which yes helps us attract and create a better platform for certain kids.
Okay, here's a question. Do you have a place people can go to donate money?
Yes.
Where's that?
Like you want a link?
Like a website, a web
Yeah, I mean,
page?
our-
Is there
our
somewhere
web-
like
our
any
website, yeah.
anyone could click a button and say, I want to give you
TulsaHawks.com, yes.
they can give you $5.
Sure.
What is it? Just like
There's
a PayPal
There's a
thing?
Cash App,
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Coinbase. You can send me crypto. I'll take it.
cryptocurrency.
That's how actually we're paying everyone now is
Yeah. So
Side note, can I go to the crypto for a second?
Yeah.
Did you see that Odell took his $750K this year in crypto?
Nope.
So he got paid $750K for the Rams, and at that time he wanted it in Bitcoin.
whoa.
The California state taxes is 50%, so he has to pay taxes on his $750,000
Woo.
that he got paid in Bitcoin, which if my math is right, that's right at $375,000.
Wait, the state can tax you on Bitcoin,
Well,
even if
because
you cash it out?
That's how he's being paid. He's being paid $750,000 worth of Bitcoin as his salary instead of dollar bills.
Okay, see, I thought the government couldn't touch crypto transactions.
They can because that is his form of payment. Is how the
Okay.
Rams are paying him.
Okay.
So 50% of that is gone immediately. So he gets $375K. When they paid him that amount, Bitcoin is worth 64 grand a piece. It is now 32 grand a piece. So he has netted $35,000 total this year for playing for the Rams because he took it in Bitcoin and Bitcoin has dropped so far. He now is only making 35 grand.
Why did he take it in Bitcoin?
Because that's the most
A lot of guys have started doing
Yeah,
that.
that's the
a bunch
most
of guys
stable
have started
crypto.
doing that.
Really?
It's the most stable cryptos is Bitcoin. Like it's the father of the cryptos. Which,
By the way, I'm going to show on the screen here you guys' website, the Cash App thing on
It's
there.
not a good website.
Okay, never mind.
hey,
I was just putting out
No,
the
no.
Cash App, Tulsa Hawks.
Well, here's the
we
thing.
appreciate it,
Show it up on
Here's the thing. Like I know, like for the industry, like we're trying to hedge against real estate with our media stuff and do stuff like this and like find other means of income
in case something,
and not just go all in on real estate.
Right.
I want this to be a conglomeration of different shit.
Sure.
So, but being in real estate, like, dude, I think maybe that would be where you could find giant donations and like you put their branding on stuff or whatever.
would love to.
Seriously, like
I would
That's
have no
true.
problem with our jerseys looking like
the target audience.
European jerseys that just have
like NASCAR.
Keller
cars,
Williams
yeah.
Real Estate,
Yeah.
Pollard Media. Like it just has the number and then just
Yeah,
sponsors
patches
everywhere.
Hey, we got to
everywhere.
get our patch on there.
So
We would love a Pollard Media sponsorship.
here's the problem. Our target audience isn't just random parents of kids, but real estate agents, their target audience is actually like parents of kids would actually be a good filter down to like their audience.
Sure.
Everyone buys and sells their house. Like, man, like I feel like
Well, especially when your kids are growing up, you're probably getting a bigger house, or when they're about to go off to college, maybe you're downsizing or something like that.
Yeah.
because one of the best places to put an ad for a realtor is like at center field on at a high school
Lots of eyes.
baseball, in a gym for basketball or whatever. But you sponsor like a summer circuited basketball team somehow, and you're on their jerseys and stuff.
A big one is to me, the best sponsorship is the backpacks. Like I want my logo on someone's backpack because then when those kids go back to schools, so I mean, we've got kids from all over the place. And so when you split up and everybody goes back to their school, those backpacks are walking billboards. I can't tell you how many
We
gyms I've
give them
walked to.
sweats and T-shirts and things to
Yeah.
wear when they're not with us in the summer, so that
advertise
everyone
for us.
else who doesn't play for us sees them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's free marketing, right?
But like
I
this
see.
year, our 17U this year had a kid from Bigsby, 2 Broken Arrow kids, a Crossings Christian kid from Oklahoma City, a kid from Bethany, Oklahoma, which is up in OKC again, a Tulsa Memorial kid. Who am I missing? A Victory Christian kid. So if you think about it, if those guys wear their backpack to school, which I'm letting you know right now, I see those backpacks everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they take
You
some
just-
pride in them, I'm sure.
You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
split into 8 different schools that your logo is
Different
bouncing
markets.
around.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's I think it's a good marketing tactic. Like if you wanted to, so I just can't put a monetized number on it. Is the issue.
I also think part of the question you're asking is something that we've talked a lot about internally of like fundraising and trying to have more money because, and we've talked about this just from my conversations, here of the better kids have opportunities to go play places for free on sponsored teams, which we are not. And it's really hard to get a kid of like, hey, you're really good. Why don't you come play for us? We're not as good and you have to pay.
And it's $1,200.
Right. So it's like, that's not really something they're interested in doing. So
Wait. It's $1,200 for dues for the summer circuit?
1,200's a little light. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How many kids are on the How many
8
kids are we
kids.
talking about?
8 kids
8
per
to
team.
10.
And you
depending.
have how many teams?
16.
So you can do the math on
That's a lot
that
of
pretty
money.
quick. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
But
I'll
but you
help
got
you out.
travel,
Hey,
hotel.
I'll help you out, Paxton, because your eyes just were like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are making a killing." We're not.
No.
I lost.
I just
money
wanted
last
to
summer.
know.
Yeah, me
I just
too.
wanted to know the number.
What is the number?
I lost
So
money last summer.
yeah, because you're traveling, you got hotels, you got the to play in the tournaments
You have
costs
to pay
money.
to play in the tournaments.
I'm sure
buy all the gear,
food.
Here's one for you. And I kept track last summer because I was like, this is the first, like I'm gonna really keep track.
Yeah, we did this last summer.
I lost $800. That doesn't include all the meals for kids I paid for.
Yeah.
Because like if you're in my car and I'm driving you somewhere and we stop at McDonald's, like,
You're not gonna ask a kid for the $8.
I'm going through the drive-through, like I'm just going, hey, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
Which
I bought 79 meals last summer for kids. Which again, like I'm not complaining. It's not what I'm doing. Like
but
I got
line,
into this to help kids. Like
bottom line, bottom line is people need to go to that website and donate. I donated $100,000 2 days ago. I feel like
That's
people.
a lie.
I don't think it's gone through yet.
Yeah, it hasn't.
It says pending.
It's pending.
The check bounced. But yeah, so I mean, people don't understand like how much goes into that, and everybody, like I got in an argument with a parent last time, and they're like, I mean, you're making all this money. I was like, whoa, I can stop you right there. I'm not making this money. And she's like, then why do you do it? And I was like, because
there are people that actually care about the
because
kids.
One, I love basketball. I said, two, I want to help kids. Like this is my passion. My goal is to help kids.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing is I'm trying to be the person I needed.
Yeah.
Like, when I was that age, who did I need? That's who I'm trying to be at all times.
Well, and I said this to you, I think yesterday or over the weekend when I was at the games. Same thing. I tracked my expenses or whatever from last summer. I lost $400 over the course of 3 months, where we've got all these kids that are paying all this money. Wes Hammond's lost $400, right? From exactly what he's saying of having to pay things, you go places, whatever, and all these different little things that just add up because you're out and about all summer, right? And then I am now, like he said, not going to coach anymore, and I'm moving into the marketing stage for the Hawks the same way I do here for PMC. And like I've been borrowing your camera to take pictures and start learning how to do that because we
really good, by the way. They look good.
Thanks, I appreciate it. They're okay.
Last ones were good.
Thanks. I have to. Last summer we paid someone to take our pictures for us, right? A kid with a camera did a great job.
Yeah, even more.
Shout out Alex Dawson, GOAT, love him.
Oh yeah, Alex Dawson, you are the GOAT.
Love him.
So
but
does he do the videos too?
Yeah, so
y'all's videos are dope.
Dude,
he did videos
so
and pictures, which I'm going to take a hand in. I don't know if I had any hand in it, but I'll take a hand in it. He now has a full-time job doing media for a church. So he won't be working for us again this summer because he is making more money doing something else that we maybe helped him create a bit of a platform for.
Sure.
But also because of how we have aligned our situation with the Hawks, we didn't really have money to pay Alex last year. And I put my foot down. I was like, no, this is really going to help us. We need the marketing for it. We can't really afford it. And now this summer, our CFO and I have gone back and forth, and he's like, I get that you need it. We can't afford it. I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. The money you're paying me to coach, I'm now going to take the pictures. We're going to do that because we can't pay someone else to do it. I'll do it, right? So I'm learning how to take the pictures and all that sort of stuff. Well, I have to buy a camera, right? I don't have a camera to do it. I've been borrowing yours.
Which you're going to let me tell you what camera.
Right, exactly. So
Good.
I'm gonna end up
yours. That's what you don't know that's coming.
I gotta buy a camera. I gotta buy a lens. I also have to buy a computer because I have to have. I don't own a laptop, so I have to have a laptop with me to go to these weekends to upload pictures.
Well, tax deductible, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Point being,
you better track that.
So I was saying this the other day. My mom was asking me about it or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, hey, how much is all this going to cost?" And you're getting ready to do these because she saw the pictures I posted, and like, "Oh yeah, I'm wanting to do this, or whatever." And I was like, "I don't know, maybe $4,000 or $5,000. I got to buy a camera, I got to buy a setup, I got to buy a computer, like
the best
or whatever." And she was like, "Oh, okay. Is that a PMC thing or is that a Hawks thing?" I was like, "Oh no, that's like a Hawks thing." It was like, I think there's, and we've talked about this. I think there's a way that could make PMC money at some point. But right now it's just for Hawks. And she's like, oh, so you're doing that as an investment so that the Hawks can make money. And I was like, well, I mean, no, not really. And she was like, wait, what do you mean? It was like, well, it's not really a situation with the Hawks and like how it's set up and what summer basketball is, unless you have some big sponsorship, which we don't. It's not really a situation, like Evan said, where you can make money. Like this summer, I'm probably going to lose a few $100s over the course of 3 months again.
Yeah.
She said, so you're going to spend $5,000 to lose money. And I was like, I mean, yeah. So she's like, what are you spending if it's not going to help you make money, what are you spending the $5,000 on? I was like, I guess nothing. Like, that's
not true. Let me help you out. I'll tell you what the $5,000 does. It helps kids get recognition, which therefore turns into their name being known,
Oh, it's just a feel good. It just makes me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
There's a net positive to be
the
gained
net
here.
positive is not that the money will come back into our pockets. The
Mhm.
net positive is that some kid's going to get free college.
Essentially, yeah, that's what it is. It is me losing money
And then
that I'm not going to
That's
get
going to
back.
increase the odds that another kid is like, hey, I like Tulsa Hawks. They
Yes.
have really good
Yeah.
media.
Correct.
or
So
whatever.
so the bottom line of the marketing thing, which is smart on your part to say, hey, we need to invest in high quality media as far as
having a
photography,
platform, yes.
videography, because that nowadays is what's going to attract kids.
Mhm.
The posts on Instagram and
It's the
Facebook,
brand.
Yeah.
maybe not Facebook, Twitter, whatever the kids.
No,
are
it's on Facebook. I mean, yeah,
it's on
Okay, so
the kid, whatever the kids
whatever
are
the
doing.
kids
Hello,
are.
fellow kids.
We have a TikTok. We have a Tulsa Hawks TikTok.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, all those things, like, it's important because that attracts the kids. But also, like, a lot of college coaches are on these mediums as well, and if they can see that stuff, and if I can draw up enough attention, it's the same thing I talk about here at PMC. Is like, if I can get enough people to view and click on stuff, eventually that'll turn into money, right?
Yep.
In theory.
Right.
With the Hawks, it's the same idea. If I can get enough people, enough eyeballs to see and click and look at our stuff, it's more likely that our guys are going to get recruited than other guys.
Right.
It just is.
There's just
Because
not
you're
gonna be a
seeing all of our
monetary-
stuff. Eventually, as a college coach, you've seen enough of our posts. You're like, I'm going to ask about one. I keep seeing pictures of this kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask about him. And if there's no pictures of the kid, you're just never. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
it doesn't promise
Which is-
anything, but it increases your odds.
That's such an interesting dynamic to high school athletes today, is the marketing of themselves.
Yeah.
It's so important because, like, when we were all in high school, that wasn't even like a thing.
No.
Wasn't
like-
even heard of.
No,
And-
we
and
were
you
so
didn't-
excited when we got like one good I was like,
Yeah.
I got this one good basketball
Dude.
picture because on senior night somebody came and took pictures.
Yeah.
and
Pictures.
some
Like,
old
if there
guy
was- if there
taking
was a
pictures.
stat line in the newspaper, it was
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
I was looking for like broken error scores. I'm like,
Yeah.
did they get my 17 point? Drake 17. Yes,
I'm famous.
I
Yeah.
remember like reading the newspaper and like cutting out like the little
Yes.
clip about Wes Hammond scored 15 points, and I'd
Yeah.
cut that out and tape that up on my wall.
Or if it happened to be like one of the bigger games of the night and there's actually a picture and
Yeah.
it happens to be of you.
yeah.
Yes. That's like a big deal.
This is like, look, I played basketball.
Yeah.
once. I promise, like, because
I can prove it.
yeah,
In black and white. Well,
like
not
the
really,
kids are like, well, show us video of that. Show us. I'm like, I'd
Bro.
have to go like
I'd have
back
to-
to my high school.
yeah.
Like, hopefully they kept the CDs that the
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
film is on.
Mhm.
Like,
on a freaking
Yeah.
camcorder. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
I'd have to find my coach and be like, do you have game film from back then on the shitty cameras that
Now I was seeing when we went to your game at Catoosa the other day, saw someone's just up there on an iPad. They
on
had
an
an
iPad.
Everything's
but it
filmed
looks
with-
amazing.
It looks
Everything's
great,
filmed with
yeah.
iPads.
Yeah.
and
Everything's filmed
here's
with
another
iPads.
one for you, and you two probably have no idea. So then there's a company called Huddle, which is where we store all the film. And here's the best part: if you pay the extra, they'll break the film down for you. So when I wake up in the morning, I can go look at my stats. I can look at
man.
where every shot is
What?
taken from.
Bro, no.
I
Listen to
can
this.
literally
Yeah.
click a drop down box and I can go, show me Titus Miller, who's our best player at Catoosa, every shot he took today. And I click on one button and it pulls all the clips together and I can watch them one by one. I
Yeah,
can
dude.
pause it. I
What?
can rewind.
Show
it,
me
like,
all
I
his
can slow-mo
software
it.
that does this?
Yes.
So
Yes.
there's a software.
A person is doing it. Like
Yeah.
it's a human being doing it. But
How much do you pay for it?
the Hawks paid $10,000.
Yeah,
for
but
2 summers worth of Huddle.
Holy God.
something like $1,000 a team, something like that
Yeah.
is a
It's-
rough.
Because one
rough
person
not for a high school. I think
It's an actual
I think
human
it's like
being.
$2,400 for the year.
Yeah.
To have the Huddle access.
$2,000.
It's like
Yeah.
$1,000 just to have access
I
to
get it.
Huddle, and then it's another this much for unlimited breakdowns. And I'm letting you know right now, I want the breakdown.
Mm.
Yeah.
I remember being at Metro and not having the assist part. And guess what my job was first hour
To
the next
break it
morning
down.
was to watch it and go assist to
Track
so-and-so,
everything, yeah.
rebound to so-and-so. All right, here's our stats. Like Huddle makes it like
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
spoiled. I wake up the next morning and the stats are done.
Dude.
Yeah, so that's wildly going everywhere in sports. I just texted my buddy Sean to ask, but there's a baseball and like softball version of that.
Yeah.
To where it's
What's
an
it
app
called?
on your phone. That's why I asked him. I can't remember. It's an app on your phone, and you put it like behind catcher.
It's called Score Tracker.
I don't know. It doesn't
It's
sound right.
called,
But
I know this one. Game Changer.
It records the whole game live, like on Facebook, and it's also live to YouTube. So
Yeah.
people like
It's probably
parents-
Huddle.
parents can watch it. Maybe
it might be Huddle.
It's probably Huddle does football.
Huddle does
does
football.
basketball. Like, so I just assume
maybe.
Huddle does soccer. Like, I assume it's all of them.
That's a multi-million-dollar
Yeah,
company.
dude.
They bought their competition 2 years ago.
So
when
basketball
I got to BA,
was owned by Crossover.
So yeah,
Company does the same thing, and Huddle just bought them out.
yeah, Huddle just bought them.
Dude, it's genius because
Because Huddle was doing just football.
the softball one that Sean was showing me was it like aggregates all the stats for every player.
Mhm.
You can click on a player and it'll show you that 60% of the time they hit opposite field. Like
Yeah.
they like
It's like
it
it's
shows
like
you-
the fucking show.
It's crazy,
What
bro.
the hell?
It's the
It's-
big league.
Like if you want to scout teams nowadays, you just need access to that stuff, and you can know like
That's so
it's wild.
wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a big market in all that. I know for
Oh,
sure.
it's
And it's
awesome.
just software. It's
Like,
just
Yeah.
it's just software.
Oh, like I can click on a player and it will pull up a shot chart and it'll show me,
Yeah.
hey, he shoots 32% from the left wing. He shoots 47% from the right wing. From the top of the key, he's shooting 18%. On his mid ranges, he's shooting like it.
To give you
breaks
like
me
a
down.
heat map.
It gives me a heat
Yeah,
map.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
exactly what it gives me.
It's crazy.
And so I'm like, okay. And so what I do as a coach is I look at that, I go, okay, when we run the flare screen, I need to send him to the right wing because he's shooting 48% there as compared
What
to
the
32%
hell,
on the
dude?
left wing. And okay, this kid is so much better on left side post ups. So when we run our cross screens for him, let's make sure we do it going left.
Mhm.
I mean, like,
And
I'm all in the
Imagine
analytics.
having that kind of information back when we played. Like
Oh,
when
God.
you know coaches would call each other and like get scouting reports and stuff. Imagine if they're like, "I'm sending you some info."
I remember in high school, my coach being like, "Hey, come on, I gotta shut the gym down." I'm like, "What are you in such a rush for?" It's like I gotta drive out to Muskogee and
Yeah.
trade,
You
and
would
trade
drive-
film
yeah,
with so and so that's got film on so and so. And I'm like,
Yep.
what? He's like, "Yeah, I gotta take them these DVDs."
Yep.
And you had the
Yep.
two, or not DVDs at that time. It was cassettes, and it was VHSs, and you would have to like put in your VHS and a blank VHS to copy what was
Yep.
on that one over to that one, and that one was the one you'd go
Yep.
send to somebody,
Yep.
and you'd keep this. And it was like,
Yeah, dude.
what? Now I'm like, I want to see all of their half court possessions.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And
that
it
make you
shows
feel?
me every single possession that they shot.
Doesn't that make you feel ancient?
Oh man.
It just shows where it's why I think like everybody talks about like, oh no, the best basketball players in the 90s and 80s. I'm like, guys, with the technology we have, like everyone's getting better.
Mhm.
Coaches are getting better. Like,
Well, and to stay on the Huddle thing, that is a thing again that I kind of put my foot down with the marketing standpoint
We needed
of the Hawks of like it wasn't really something we could afford to do either of to pay Huddle to have this for our summer team, all of our teams, right? And that really sets us apart of I can send coaches game film all summer long because we're filming all of our games all summer, just like you do for high school.
Yeah.
And most AAU organizations are not.
And I imagine you can make like maybe not a cool highlight reel, but like
yes.
Oh yeah.
reels and stuff
Yes.
for
Yes.
players to send to colleges.
Yes.
And stuff.
And we have those
I do it all
all
the
year
time.
round. So like we have them during the summer, and then like we get them from kids at their schools Huddle. I mean, so we have these all year round to send to interested coaches whenever they need them. Like I mean, just last week, I had to send off film of one of our guys from last summer of a event he played in June, in April. And it's been 10 months later. He's like, hey, will you
Wow.
send me some of that best film? Because he played a really highly ranked guy in that game. He's like, I want to see how he did against so-and-so or whatever.
Mhm.
And we have that, and a lot of our competition doesn't just because they don't see the value in it or, wherever it is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a pain in the ass because then I got to make sure there's someone filming at each game. And I mean, there's definitely like a workup of the whole thing that's kind of a pain in the ass, but people want to see it. And it's something
It's a
that
big deal
differentiates.
when, let's say, so-and-so goes to so-and-so tiny private school, and they're like, well, he put 55 on so-and-so. It's like, and who you playing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, let me send you the film of last summer where we played 2 5-stars
Yeah.
that are committed to Indiana and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like, right now are committed to Indiana and Kentucky, and it's like, let me see that film.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, here you go. Like, oh, this is high level. Like, yeah, he doesn't just do that against the small private schools that he plays. Like, he does it against high level competition when he's not the best dude on the floor, when he's one of the
Yeah.
5th, 4th best guy on the floor. Like, look what he does against these guys. So
That is wild.
Yeah.
So just keeping up with the technology also.
So
is
that's
so
another thing,
important.
like that big number that Paxton saw earlier of all these kids paying all these dues.
It's like $150,000, but I definitely see how it goes because
There's
like,
a lot of shit for us to pay for.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff like 10 grand for that. Like we operate a business here. I know what our numbers are, and we operate very close to zero.
Right.
Like you're a good business if you're operating at that zero number. Like you're not incurring debt and stuff.
That's
well, and then
crazy,
you think about
dude.
it, like, so on a weekend for just, let's say, just the high school teams, right? So I've got 3 17s, 2 16s, and 2 15s. So that's 7 coaches that I need to put in hotel rooms.
Yeah.
So give me the going rate of a hotel room because I got 7 of them. I don't want to put more than 4 in a room together. So you got at least 2 hotel rooms for coaches, and then what?
$200 a night for a Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's $400 bucks a night because, or sorry, I see what you're saying. 100 per room.
Yeah.
So $200 for the weekend for all those coaches. 7 coaches drove to Kansas City. I'm going to give them each $50 for gas. There's 350. So now you're at.
And I'm paying them because they're employees, so I'm paying them to be there for the weekend.
$550 for the weekend. Throw in $700 because each one of them makes $100 for the weekend. Now you're at $1,200 for the weekend, and that's one weekend, and we do that 11 times.
And it's $1,200 roughly dues to play for
Yeah.
Plus you have to rent the gyms to practice, like you're saying, the entry fees, and
buy
stuff
all the
like
jerseys.
Where did you come up with that number? Are you just trying to be competitive with other organizations?
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason is.
That's what Jason does.
Okay.
Evan and I try and not put our hands on that as much as I possibly can.
This is all we want to do, Jason. This is the schedule we want to go with.
How much do we have to charge?
When you go here, and he goes, okay, it's going to have to be $1,350 a kid.
Yeah. But I'm sure
kid.
Jason is like trying to also be competitive, right, with other organizations.
Jason's very adamant about. So the first summer we did it, we didn't have all the fancy things. Like we didn't have a videographer, we didn't have a camera person.
Yeah.
Like it was like
just a baby.
It was like $750 a kid. And then last summer it was like $950, and he was like, "We're not going over 1,000. We're not going over 1,000." It's like, Jason, these are the tournaments we need to be at. And he's like, "It's too much travel. Like we don't play in Tulsa enough." And I'm like, "You're right, because coaches are not coming to watch us play in Tulsa. Competition's not good enough. We'll murder everyone in Tulsa." Yeah. My third 17s last summer won the 2 Tulsa tournaments they were in.
So if for perspective, that is on our should be highest level, best kids, whatever, oldest kids, our third team. So think about the, third 10 guys, like beat everybody else. So what would our team that has the 5 best guys do? Beat everybody by 60, right? Yeah. I mean,
we did that one time 2 summers ago with Jake and Kaysen and Chase and that group.
Our 2 teams came in first and second.
That's funny. Y'all played against each other?
We didn't play the game.
We didn't play the game because we're the same program. Like we'll take first and second and move on, which again is why we don't play a lot in Tulsa, because we run into each other.
It doesn't challenge our guys. It doesn't promote them. It doesn't do anything.
The top team and second team didn't have a game within 20 points here in town. Yeah. It's like we have to go elsewhere.
You have to go find competition.
I got to go elsewhere to go find somebody that can compete with us. Like I've got the best 20 kids in Tulsa between my 3 teams.
Who are we playing?
Who am I playing?
Yeah.
So like that's a little bit of the issue, and that's like the money side that the parents don't see, and they don't get like, hey, it's $10,000 for huddle.
Yeah.
Do you want the film?
And you're just desperately trying to provide value.
I'm just trying to provide value, and I'm trying to give every kid the best opportunity to get seen and hopefully get some college paid for.
Yeah. And it's as simple as that. And you're obsessed with it.
And I'm obsessed.
You have to be, because you're not making any money.
We're losing money.
Yeah,
not making money.
You're
losing.
giving money.
I am giving money. Okay, so last summer, I'll give you this one. Ready? Last summer, I drove to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I drove to Chicago, Illinois. I drove to Indianapolis, Illinois.
Paxton, you're from there. How do you say it?
It's Illinois.
There's no noise in Illinois.
By the way, I will say it is choppy again for him, and we're at like an hour and a half, so we can probably get close to wrapping it up whenever you're ready.
Okay. Should we start it one more time?
If you want. I mean, we will have to take a short break.
We'll be right back.
All right.
And we're back. It's interesting that it's just that camera, though.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah. Anyway,
all the other ones are fine.
All the other ones are fine. We need to get new HDMI cords. These are
I think that's
cheap.
what it is.
Just spend a little more money.
Well, these are also 25.
It's always more money, man.
HDMIs. They're probably too long. Like,
yeah, I think the data transfer is getting.
It's probably taking too long to get from the camera.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to run such a far distance.
25 feet.
So you have to be obsessed because you're not even making money.
Right.
You're passionate about it.
Yep.
So what is? I guess I'm sitting here trying to solve the money problem. I'm like, y'all just need more cash.
Yeah,
I'll help you out.
No shit.
I need an NBA player from Tulsa that wants to pay for it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
They're trying to find it.
Sorry,
Shake Milton.
It's Shake Milton.
Plays
And
for
you
the
don't even know who
Philadelphia
Shake Milton is
76ers.
because he's not so high profile. You know who Trae Young is?
Yeah.
You know who Blake Griffin is?
Yes.
Those guys pay for their AAU teams.
Yeah.
There's Trae Young Elite.
That's
there's
right. And
Buddy
there's
Hield pays for his team.
Plays for his team.
Buddy Buckets or whatever.
Writes a check every year and says, "Here's my tax
However
write-off."
much you need,
How
here
much
it
you
is. So
need.
none of the kids pay, you know.
They fly
whatever.
them everywhere. I mean, they do all the things that you need to do. But guess what? You have a multimillionaire funding it.
So
I don't have a multimillionaire funding.
there is an NBA player from Tulsa
Yes.
that has
Yeah.
money.
He's from Bartlesville.
No, he's from Owasso.
He was born in Bartlesville.
Yeah,
Is
Did
he
you
from
just look up
Owasso?
Shake Milton?
I did.
Oh my gosh.
he played at
So-
Owasso. He
I
plays
played
for the
against him in high school.
Plays for the 76ers now.
Really?
He's 6'5". He has a wingspan of 7 feet.
Thank
you, stat
He had
guy.
like 19 in a playoff game.
Have
last
you
year.
tried to
No, he had
con-
like 37 in a playoff
No,
game.
he's good.
Have you tried to contact him?
No.
I don't know him. Well, I'm gonna send him a DM. That's
Damn
my
it.
best option.
Yeah.
No.
He's averaging 10.5 points a game and 3 rebounds per game.
Yeah.
There-
The
there
other
is-
one we
thank
thought
you,
of
stat guy.
is a non-basketball guy
Yeah.
because we both know Archie.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
Archie Bradley.
And Archie played basketball until sophomore year, and so when he
Yeah.
got to BA, he quit playing basketball. I don't know if he wants to like we haven't really asked the question to him. I mean, I wasn't close with him. Like I knew him, he knew
Yeah.
me.
Archie Bradley is 6'4",
What'd you say?
born in Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Can't deal with him.
Salary is $6 million.
Yeah, you need someone with the money that wants to pay for it and has the same idea because
Well-
guess what? They're not going to get the return either.
No, they're
not-
just lighting that money on
They
fire.
are okay with I want to
Well,
help.
they
I
get
don't
to
wanna
that's
give
a
back.
donation
They get the
because
tax
they're
benefit
giving
of- yeah,
to
yeah.
501c3.
They're
Right.
not going to see any of the money back.
Yeah,
They're
but
not going to get
at that
back,
level,
so-
you have to have some charitable donations.
Yes.
You need
So
to
the-
be that.
So the
Right.
key, so Archie has Crash Landing, which is his company that is like duck hunting,
Mhm.
and he
Okay.
takes you out into this cabin, this ranch out in the middle of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where it is.
Oh my God, I got to show the viewers right now his hit in the face.
Oh my
Oh
gosh,
my
dude, he got
God.
smoked.
Yeah, he did.
Got smoked. But
Oh,
anyway, so he's got this thing called Crash Landing, and one of his best friends, Mac Moncton, runs it. From what I can tell, I don't know that.
Yeah.
Just from the social media, that's who I see running it, and like it's expensive, but like you get to go out there and you
Yeah.
get to hunt for the weekend, and they house you, and but
And
that's
it's
where
is it
wait,
a
you get to
nonprofit?
do what now? You get to hunt?
Takes you duck
it's,
hunting.
it's duck
It's
hunting.
duck hunting. It's like
He
waterfowl
takes you out
stuff.
there. That they guide you and teach you how to shoot, and they
looks
go out to
awesome.
their land, and oh, it's awesome. It looks
Yeah.
so cool. I'm like, oh man, I would love to do that. But like that's where
So-
he normally spends, or he did early on, was that's where he spent his off seasons. He's got a weight room, he's got a pitching thing. Like all those guys played baseball, so like all the people he has in his circle are baseball guys. So like him and 3 other guys would just spend their off season out at Crash Landing, shooting ducks and throwing baseballs and
Yeah.
lifting weights
Mhm.
and just doing everything they're supposed to be doing as professionals. But like that's his side hustle. Now
Yeah.
that makes money,
Mhm.
but
But that's where he pours his money into.
I
and
think that's
stuff.
where he pours his
He
money.
probably takes a loss on it and stuff.
Probably,
So
yeah.
interesting. So you need Shake Milton.
Mm-hmm.
Shake.
Or anyone else, just someone with
So-
a bunch of fucking
So
money.
like,
I mean,
so probably what would happen is like if you could, we need to have like a marketing campaign, and it's like, Shake, we want you, bro.
So here's what we thought, and we were wrong. I mean, we've had this conversation. We thought at one point, like, if we run this so well, Trae Young might be like, you know what, the guys running my program aren't doing as well as these guys, and these guys don't even have the funding or the
mhm.
capital to do it. They're doing it just on their own backs. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not funding the Hawks. I'm a teacher, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have it. So what we thought at one point is like maybe somebody will notice we're doing such a good job with
Yeah.
less. Maybe they'll go, hey, we want those guys to run our company.
Yeah.
But that's
And
not going to happen.
That's what we've
It could
we've-
happen.
It's not
It's
going
not going to happen. And here's why everyone hires their friends.
No.
to happen.
As I sit with all of my friends and the 3 of you guys, but like that's the deal is you hire who you know. So like Trae Young's not going to
Especially in a situation where you're not actively trying to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Let
But
your
like,
friends run.
man,
Who gives a
talk
fuck?
about a game changer if the kids now don't have to pay dues.
Tell me
Like,
about it.
That'd be awesome.
Tell
wouldn't
me
it?
about it.
Would be awesome. So,
Mm.
but and like what we thought is like 3 years ago we had 2 teams.
Yeah.
2 Tulsa Hawks teams. And originally it was going to be 1. And I was like, hey, Wes, you want to come assistant coach with me? Like,
Yeah.
I just want somebody. And he's like, yeah, I'll come show up for tryouts. He shows up for the tryouts. We have a good number. We're like, let's have
We
2
have
teams.
enough kids for 2
Yeah.
teams.
And Chloe's like, no, you can't do that. And so he's like, as you guys know with him and Chloe, he's like, can't. Chloe said no. And I'm like, what for? And you're like, I'm going to be gone way too much in the summer. It's too much travel. And I'm like, Wes, when the summer gets here, it's really only like 3 weekends in July. Like we don't do anything in June, and he's like, oh well, hold on, and thank God I pushed a little bit, or Wes wouldn't be involved in this, and who knows what the Hawks would be. We had two
you pushed too hard. Now I'm not even coaching anymore.
That sounds familiar.
You pushed me right out.
I know. So we started with 2 teams 3 years ago, and then we went from those 2. We then bit off more than we should have.
We do that every year. We've done it again.
How many teams y'all get this year? 16?
16, yeah. So in 3 years, we've gone from 2 teams to 16. We've gone from just boys to boys and girls.
High school and middle school.
High school, middle school, 5th grade's elementary school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we just kind of
So at that rate, you'll have next year about 150 teams.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. But we just kind of keep going and keep growing it. And we merged with another program. Like, we found another program that we liked the guy that ran it. And we were like, dude, we're fighting over the same kids for the programs. Like, why don't we just come together?
Oh, so you recently merged it with another?
Last year, we brought in another team and basically absorbed them. Right. And that's how we got it. So.
Which explains a little bit the massive growth.
Massive
in
growth.
1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely
helps.
Sense.
Wait, how many teams did you have last year, you said?
2?
Last year we had 3 17s, 3 16s, 2 15s,
1 14,
and 1 14. So 3, 6,
8 or 9,
9,
something like that.
Okay. 10,
maybe
because we had the 2020.
Yeah,
so
the young
we had
ones.
10
teams, and then you merge with this guy, and he brings over 6 teams.
No. So we merged
brought over 1 team.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't really bring a team.
Not really. He brought out a couple guys.
So it was him and his brother, and they were running. They had 2 teams.
Yes,
maybe 3.
2, I think.
I think they had 2 teams, but like we liked what they were doing. We respected them. Like we were like, we want to get them. It's just like if you saw another media company around here that you were like,
that makes sense.
Like what they're doing, we can just corner the market.
It's like bringing in Liz.
Yeah,
it's exactly what it is. So that's what we did. We contacted them. We sat down and talked about it. We all have the same goal in mind: help Oklahoma kids from a non-shoe circuit scenario. Hopefully, we can do the things that we think are wrong in the state. Maybe we can correct those things on our side, and so that's what we did.
That's cool.
So
it's cool, and like knowing you from college, it's like interesting just to see the route that you've taken. Because I knew you were going to be a coach. That was a given. You love basketball way too much, but it's interesting that this has spiraled into such a thing,
into being just obsessed.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Into a thing that we spend all of our time on that we don't make any money for.
Yeah,
it's your passion.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's what you do.
It's really cool.
So the ultimate goal then would be to make money off of this, right?
In a perfect world.
In a perfect world, you get to the point where you've got 40 AAU teams, and your dues are just enough to pay somebody to be like full time.
Yeah.
Well, like they do nothing but like
get
uniforms ordered, talk to all the different teams and make sure everything's working, and like
or like put everyone that's involved on a small salary and incorporate that into the expenses, and then try to break at zero.
Right.
Correct.
That would be cool. So that would be people just need to give y'all money.
That's it.
Yeah, we just need more money.
Go to the
simple fix.
Go to the TulsaHawks.com/anything.
Nope, just TulsaHawks.com.
Give money.
That's it.
I gave $100,000.
I was talking to a parent the other day.
You can match that donation.
And she was like, well, we've heard some great things about the Hawks, but like somebody said you guys run it like a business. And I'm like,
what?
I was like, there's
100%.
16 teams. I was like, and if we don't run it like a business, I can't afford to live in my house.
Yeah.
I was like, so yeah, it's wrong. And she's like, no, I think it's a great thing. Like you guys are like, you have to pay for things. So it makes sense to run. I said, I mean, we're an LLC. We're all those things that matter. Like, it is a business.
There's no exploiting going on
here. It's a business that we're not trying to make money in.
Yeah. Which is very rare.
We're just spending lots of money to not make any.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of organizations out there. I don't know if any of your competitors or anything, but I'm sure there's some slimy ones too, like in the country where there's like some weird stuff going on. People,
I got that. I switched to that look. I expected a look.
So
I imagine that happens all over the place, like all over the country.
The difference and the core reason why I think we do a good job is what Evan is saying. We are obsessed about it. But more so as we're sitting here and kind of, laughing about and cutting up about, it doesn't make any sense. And the reason why we do a good job of providing that avenue for our kids. So like I put a graphic together last year in 2021, we got 85 scholarship offers.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Right. That's a lot. Right. And the reason that we're able to do that is because of all this extra legwork that we put in and spend things on money we don't have and all this sorts of stuff to try and provide a platform for our kids that other people aren't doing. And the honest to God reason is that we're doing that better than our competition is because we are obsessed and we're willing to put all this time in to something that we're not getting paid to do.
You're willing to
and
donate.
other people are like, hey, you want to spend time on this? Can I make any money? No. Then no, I'm not going to do it. And we're doing it anyway. And that's why
just because you love it.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why you're being successful.
That's why we're ahead of our competitors.
You're willing to take some lumps.
Yeah. The thing,
we're willing to donate our time.
Yeah.
And the thing that's like, people ask me all the time, they're like, I mean, like, when are you going to have kids? Like, when are you going to have kids, Drake? I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have 128 Hawks kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have the Tulsa basketball team kids, and then I have the NXTGEN kids. And like, I don't.
It's scary to think when you're that busy. It's like, I don't know. Like,
oh, I did this with Danielle this week. I sat down, I said, break down this past week. I said, and tell me where I had time to pick a child up from daycare, see my kid, hang out with my kid, be a father, and still do all the things that I just did because I need to be doing those things. And she was like, I can't.
Yeah.
Talked to my head coach, Pat Flesher, friend of the
show.
Has he listened?
He listened. I sent him something, and we talked about it. He's listened at least maybe only once, but he's listened.
Friend of the show, Patrick Flesher.
Nice.
I'll send him this clip.
Perfect. I sent him, or I was talking to him, and I was like, because he's on the same school day schedule as me. He doesn't stick around. Like, I do NXTGEN after practices basically every day that we're not playing. So like tonight I'm not doing it, but like Wednesday night we don't play. So I'll start NXTGEN at 6, and I'll do a 6 to 7, a 7 to 8, and an 8 to 9, and then I'll get home at 9:30. Sunday I do Hawks practice from 1 to 3, and then I do a 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6 NXTGEN workouts for like different groups. And he's like, yeah, I don't. He's like, you it's too much. He's like, you do way too much. And I'm like, yeah, but like think about like your last week. And he's like, I woke up and I wanted to know how much time he had with his kid.
And Pat's got a newborn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is good. You're comparing here.
Less than a year old. So I'm talking to him, like, give me the breakdown. He goes, woke up Monday. And so we went through the week because this week we had a tournament. So there was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we are running the tournament. Like, it's at our school. So, like,
oh, okay. So you're working.
I got there at 8:30 and left at 11 every night.
Yeah.
Like 8:30 a.m. to 11 every night. And I coached a game inside of that time. But also I was talking to coaches, making sure, you know, there were drinks and water. I mean, I'm doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. You're hosting. So.
I'm hosting a tournament, right? So, like, I talked.
On that basketball stipend that if you factor in the hours makes like $1 an hour.
It's less than $1.
Yeah.
I did the math one year. I tracked my.
It's
just tracked
fucking stupid.
But I was talking to him and I was like, so break down, like, how much have you seen TW this week? TW's kid. He's like, Monday morning I got 5 minutes of holding him while Brooke got dressed. He's ahead, and then Monday night we had middle school games, so I got home at 9 o'clock. I saw him in his crib because he goes to bed at 6:30 every night. He said, so Tuesday night I saw him for 5 minutes to hold him while Brooke got dressed. Came to school. We had a game Tuesday night. He said, I got home. He was asleep. I looked at him in the crib, gave him a little, you know, oh, I love you. Good night. He said, Wednesday night, I got home at 6. So I got 30 minutes of TW time before it was, you know, put him down. He said, Thursday, I got a little extra time because now I got to take him to daycare because I didn't have work until 8:30 for this tournament.
Yeah.
And so I got 35 minutes with him before I dropped him off at daycare. He goes, so this week I got a total, and I think it was like an hour and 27 minutes.
Wow.
Or an hour and 25. He goes,
that's crazy.
That's how much I saw my kid this week.
And then factor in, like, if his wife were half as busy as he is, so what does she do?
I do. That's a great question.
You don't know?
She was looking for something else. She used to be a teacher. So he coached Division I basketball in California, and she was a teacher there. And then when she came back here, they both found other jobs and whatnot. And I don't remember what she does. Like, I can't. He's told me I can't put a finger on it. Yeah, so she has a normal, like, 9 to 5 job.
She has more time to.
She doesn't do all the extra.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Like, I'm doing.
How busy is Danielle?
She teaches her. She does her job and she comes home.
Oh, really?
She has no extra. She used to coach a 4th grade cheerleading team.
Yeah.
But she stopped doing that, and then so like it's just so she'll come home and she'll text me and be like, I'm bored. What are you doing? Can I come just swing by a workout? And I'm like, that's kind of weird, but sure.
Sure.
So you're saying you've got more than enough time for kids right now.
What I'm saying is
that's what I heard.
I don't. And
Danielle does.
And that's what I was telling Pat. I said, when a kid shows up, I'm gonna have to pick something that goes away.
Yeah.
And it's not teaching because that's the job. It's probably not coaching because that's also another piece. If I'm going straight monetary wise, I would just stop coaching high school basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would save me because I could be home at 4:00 every day. And then there's NXTGEN, and then there's Hawks, and I'm like, something would have to go.
Something would have to give, which would probably be the Hawks. Maybe you could still do.
I spend more time on the Hawks than probably anything else.
But what's scary is you're kind of like I am, and you would become depressed if you went home every day at 4:30 and played with your kid. Like,
so I wouldn't go home at 4:30 because like I'm going to be at high school basketball practice till 6 every night.
Okay,
and then basically the difference would be from August to May doesn't really change that much, but the summers turn into the summers are hang out with kid time.
Yeah, that would be good. But you'd go crazy.
I'd go crazy. I don't know if I could stop training. Like I don't think I can stop NXTGENing. Like I just love it. I love the relationship.
I like it.
NXTGENing.
Verb it, turn into a verb.
Yeah, I love it too much. I enjoy being with the kids. I enjoy the relationships. Like yesterday, I finished a workout. And 2 guys stuck around, and we just like talked for like an hour. And I looked down, I was like, "Oh my gosh, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here."
Yeah.
But it's like, "Oh, let me put your elbow in a little bit more," like as we're shooting the shit and just talking.
So here's a question. And we could wrap it up after this pack, but other than, and I'm not saying this is a small reason, but other than just being wildly passionate and obsessed and wanting to help these kids, what's usually kind of your sales pitch, if you have one, of like, these kids should come play for you and not for other teams? Because like how do you like sell it to a kid? Like obviously you're obsessed with and you have their best interest in mind and you're not trying to make money off of them.
Right.
So yeah, what is like your sell when you're trying to recruit a really good athlete?
It's a great question. It depends on the athlete.
Say it's
the sale's different to everyone. It's what's important, right?
Okay.
And then if what's important to you I can do, I'll tell you. If I can't, then I go, hey, I can't do that. Like, you need to go try out for so-and-so. You need to go try to be on that team. I can't provide that. A great example. If a kid wants to play on the EYBL, which is like the Nike circuit, the Elite Youth Basketball League, I can't give you that. There's no way. I cannot get on that league.
We're not allowed to go to that.
I'm not allowed. I can't pay my money and just show up and play in those games. Like, you have to be invited. You have to be a Nike-sponsored team. Like, I can't get you there. So a lot of it is, hey, what's your goals? I want to play college basketball. I can help with that.
Yeah.
What are their goals? You want to score this many points a game. You want to do this. What's the goal here?
Right.
And some of them are like, I just want to be as good of a high school basketball player as possible, and then I'm going to go to OSU and I'm going to join a frat. I'm like, awesome. Perfect.
I can help with that too.
I can help with that. I can help you do this. I can guarantee that a father will not be your coach.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that you will not be on a team with a kid that's dad is coaching because nobody wants to play daddy ball.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that whoever your coach is going to be a high school coach or have high school coaching experience. So it's not just, well, my buddy over here wanted to coach.
Right.
So
they're getting better.
Yes. You're getting coached all summer by a high school coach or someone with high school or college coaching experience. You're going to play a lot and you're going to play against good competition, which is going to make you better at basketball. So if your goals are basketball oriented, I can help almost every kid.
Yeah. And to be marketed.
Because
you guys are leaning hard into that.
So essentially it
big
comes down
thing
to
to me is I'm going to care about you more than any other program would. You're not just another kid to me.
And y'all's marketing is pretty kick-ass. It's like part of the reason Wes was on my radar to like, if he leaves teaching, I'll take Wes. Because can they see the computer? You should pull up what's the Instagram account or whatever. Like
Tulsa
you could just
Hawks.
like scroll.
Yeah, just go to Tulsa Hawks.
Look at like the graphics and the kids and like how you guys market the kids on there is freaking nuts.
Well, a big thing for us is like, it doesn't stop when AAU stops. So like when July hits.
That's the thing I've noticed. Like you have kids at all these different schools. So on y'all's Instagram, which is cool for me to see, is like you have a kid from Wagner on there, and then you got a kid from like Jinx on there, and then you got a kid from BA on there, and it's like they're all these different schools, but they're all Tulsa Hawks, and you're marketing them.
Wes does a good job on like
that's cool.
The ones my favorite graphics he makes are like summer teammates
playing
rivals.
against each other.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Yeah,
so like super cool. We had one kid goes to Catoosa, Titus Miller, and then another kid goes to Wagner, Corbin Marcy. And we played each other this week. Yeah. They were on the same team. Like, it's not like, oh, I was on a first team and you were on a second team. Like, they were teammates this summer. And now they're matching up against each other. And so it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's something
I'm going to show it. You
guys
can't see it.
That is beautiful.
We got Tulsa Hawks on here for Anthony Allen, that 39 points.
Oh, yeah.
that he had. Then
Yeah, so those graphics
you guys
are
have like
so
180 likes on here and stuff, like Tulsa Hawks tryouts you got on there.
What were some of those statistics you were spitting off to me,
Welcome
like
back.
your reach or something like that?
Those are on there too of Paxton ones. I don't remember the exact number. If you scroll down there, Pax, to the
their reach, it was like crazy.
Is it on the Instagram?
Is
page?
it like
yeah,
on
yeah,
a show?
yeah.
It is. It's
Where,
nuts.
like on the post itself?
Yeah,
or-
it's a big graphic that says I think it was 2.1 million. Was
Oh,
our,
that's
was our
right. That's right.
impression.
You made a graphic.
Holy
for it.
shit.
I'm gonna name drop. You ready for the text that just came across my phone?
Sure.
So, I text the head coach of OU today, Porter Moser,
Uh-huh.
to ask about his son, who his son's playing AAU for.
Uh-huh.
He just texted me back, and I can't tell you that as a huge OU fan, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's super awesome.
That's cool.
Super awesome.
And
But,
it's
like,
not you fanboying out. It's just like,
No, and he's like, hey,
I'm
Evan,
in
thank you
this.
for reaching out. Appreciate
His
you asking about
son
my
needs a team to
son.
play
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Would love to talk to you about it. We leave tomorrow for a 2-game road trip. I'll call you. I will call you then on the road trip. Thank you so much for reaching out.
very nice. So his kid, his kid's in Tulsa?
Nope.
No,
kid
it goes to Norman North.
goes Norman.
But he'll play for the Hawks still.
Maybe.
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 Okay.
Had
Interesting.
a kid. I mean, we have kids from all over the state.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm going to show that
Oh, yeah.
that post, that 2.1 million social media impressions last year.
Yeah, and that's across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And that's
Yeah.
just you marketing these kids,
It's exposure. It's,
giving
I
them
wanna get seen.
exposure.
I want to get seen. I can't get you recruited, but I can make sure that somebody that coaches college will see your name and will see your highlights, or like will see a picture
and
of
I can
you.
back it up.
Yeah.
And,
You can
and
back it up.
that's it's a sales tactic. Unlike anything else, of like, hey, I care about the kid, which we do, but every coach who's trying to recruit them to come play for their pro, they're all going to say the same shit, right? We care about you. Oh no, we're going to put the ball in your. I mean, like everyone's going to say the same stuff.
Yeah.
So can you back up and prove and support whatever it is you're trying to say? Is like, oh, you want to go to college? Okay, great. Here's how many scholarship offers the Tulsa Hawks players got last year. Well,
84.
I'm thinking about 85. I'm
85.
thinking about playing for Joe's team down the road. Oh, how many scholarships do they get for their kids? And I'm not like hating on other programs, but
Yeah.
like we fucking put in the work and it proves, right?
Yeah.
So you want to go to college? Guess what? We got more offers for kids that played for us than anybody else in the state last year. And I can prove it.
Here are the numbers.
Here are the numbers. Oh, I want people to see my stuff. Like college coaches, do they see my stuff? Yeah. 2.1 million impressions, the calculate of how many people are seeing your content across different platforms.
Mhm.
That's what we had in 2021. It's like, oh, so the odds of me being seen by someone, yeah, they're pretty fucking good.
Wow.
And I can support that and I can back it up. So, I mean, really, that's going to be our sales tactic. Like, we
Yeah.
care about you. We can get this done. And here's the proof.
And like I'm sure at a certain point, like say it is a kid's goal to get, he's like, I want to get better, but also I love the way you guys get us exposure.
Right.
I want to go to college. Like I imagine to a certain degree, you could almost say this is like kind of a little marketing profile or like plan for you. Like we're going
Right.
to keep this in mind that you want to do this, and we're going to make sure that everything is always like a positive force towards
Sure.
these certain schools or
Right.
whatever.
Absolutely.
So that's cool.
Yeah,
And your marketing, most companies like this one market their products to make money, to sell. You guys are spending your money to market to get these guys scholarships,
Yes.
which you guys lose money on in the end.
Yes, correct.
So
It sounds really depressing.
it makes
it
God.
sounds
lot of sense,
depressing,
doesn't
but my God, if I was a kid and I heard that, I'd be like, I'm going to play.
Every single
the
thing you
Hawks.
just said right there makes me go, yeah, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that kid's at college for free.
Yep.
Or that kid got a half scholarship and now he doesn't have to pay.
Yep.
And maybe that kid doesn't even have a chance to go to college
Yep.
if he's not seen at the right point. Because, like,
Right.
I mean, you've heard people all the time are like, where did they find Giannis Antetokounmpo? He was playing in these back gyms and bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody was exposed. Like, give them the
Yeah.
exposure. You've got
Yeah.
to get seen. You've got to get your name heard. Like, it's got to get out there. And
Yeah.
if it's not, then you're not going to get to do what you want to do. I give you the platform.
Mm-hmm.
You have to perform. And that's the best way to say it is like,
Yeah.
I'll put you in the right positions. I will get you where you need to be to get seen. At the end of the day, it's up to you, man. Like, if you can't hoop, it's not going, none of this is going to matter.
No pictures I take can make you
Right.
score more points.
Yeah, none of
that's
that
true.
matters, but we'll put you in the platform. We'll get you in the right scenarios and put you in what we think is the best position for you to succeed. At the end of the day, you got to go out and perform.
Yeah. And I mean, hopefully, and Pax, if you want to just fade the music in, because are y'all good to wrap
Yeah,
up?
wrap it up.
So
Sure.
one thing I'll
It's
say.
funny being on the other side.
I
I
know.
kind of like it.
So
What's weird is it's turned into a Hawks podcast.
yeah,
A little. I mean, it's a
that's
little,
kind of
yeah.
what I meant for. I guess I said next gen when I asked you to come on.
It's all good.
Whatever. But hopefully.
I really enjoyed learning about it. I had no idea like how this all started, and I didn't know how big it was.
It's crazy. Yeah. So the bottom line is, I think, other than the Tulsa guy that should give y'all some money, you guys keep doing this, and then maybe you guys put a kid in the NBA, and he's going to remember that the Hawks put me on, kind of, hopefully. And then he's going to be donating money.
Let's cross our fingers.
Yeah. Just keep doing it. Just keep churning out kids.
Maybe one of those kids.
You'll get a Trey Young come through, and it'll be over.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm good unless you want to add anything.
Good.
All right. We'll call it, Pax.
All right.